I feel nothing but revulsion anytime I see Ann Coulter. That's one of the reasons that I decided not to watch Real Time with Bill Maher. I don't know what his relationship with Coulter is now, but they used to be, haha, friends. You know, didn't your mother tell your grandma, you're known by the company you keep? So whenever Bill Maher would have Ann Coulter on, I couldn't believe it. Now I realize he would try to use her as a foil, but he has said for publication that he likes her. I think she is a horrible person in general. I do. I don't know what her scam is. I think she just craves publicity and gets plenty of it. But she fired shots, in a manner of speaking, at Trump today for ending his little bullshit appearance in the Rose Garden, going in and signing this bill to avert another government shutdown. And instead of a government shutdown, he declared a national emergency so he can build his fucking wall. Coulter decided to reply to a tweet that the Orange Bastard put out there. The Orange Bastard tweeted, quote, "The goal of a national emergency is to end illegal immigration and cartel smuggling." That was what he tweeted. And Coulter tweeted back, "No, the goal of a national emergency is for Trump to scam the stupidest people in his base for 2 more years." What is it about a stop clock being correct at least twice a day? In a subsequent tweet, she added this, quote, "The goal is to get Trump's stupidest voters to say, 'He's fighting.' No, he's not. If he signs this bill, it's over." And he went in and signed the bill. She even went so far as to claim to the shithole of a TV show or whatever it is, the Daily Caller, maybe it's an online publication, that Trump, quote, "will have no legacy whatsoever without a border wall." Just thought you might like to know that Ann Coulter, who is just the epitome of a con artist. I mean, that's all she is. A loudmouth con artist. And when she doesn't get her way, she's like Trump. She throws a little hissy fit. Only she's not in a position of power to do any fucking thing except fart and wheeze and screech and scream all over the place. Maybe she can go to her friend Hannity and have a shoulder or maybe a lap to cry into. So what does she do? She attacks his base, and she knows they're stupid fucks. She knows. What did she call them? The goal of a national emergency is for Trump to scam the stupidest people in his base for 2 more years. And why don't you go play in the fucking traffic? I mean, seriously, put a blindfold on and step onto the West Side Highway at 5:45 in the afternoon and pull your skirt up. Jesus. Now, the Aaron Blake of the Washington Post and a million other people have pointed out that Trump fucked himself today with what he was saying about this national emergency. And he fucked himself so badly that when it finally does get into the courts, this is going to be demolished so quickly, this little order that he signed today, as being unconstitutional. The president has an awful lot of power. And when the presidential power is at issue, the courts are reluctant to interfere unless it is blatantly insane, like his denying people from certain countries the right to apply for entry into this country. Anyway, At today's news conference, Trump might have erased any doubt about his true motivation for this wall. He keeps calling it a national emergency. Bullshit. As Aaron Blake points out, in the Rose Garden, Trump issued the national emergency declaration he's been threatening for more than a month. And in the process, he basically admitted he doesn't even really see the situation at the border as an emergency. The key quote came when the Q&A portion started. Trump was challenged by NBC's Peter Alexander on why he, Trump, couldn't bend Congress to his will as he previously said a president should be able to do, rather than take this unilateral action. Trump said, well, I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster. I didn't need to do this. I'd rather do it much faster. Purely political. There's no emergency. Well, we know that. Trump then blamed the politics of the election year coming up, 2020, as the reason Democrats would not support his wall. And he repeated himself, I just want to do it faster. I just want to do it faster. If it's truly an emergency, how do you say you didn't need to declare an emergency? If you're insane, like this rancid orange fucker, it's very easy. Trump basically admitted that this was a choice for him, a matter of expedience, literally, so that he can have something to get his reelection campaign going. And not something required by events on the ground. Now, Aaron Blake points out this isn't the first time Trump has suggested this is a strategy of choice rather than an imperative to act. He repeatedly held the idea of a national emergency out there as an alternative if Congress didn't fund the wall. He held that out there over more than a month. He shut down the government, said he was proud to shut down the government, this sick son of a bitch. Put almost 1 million people out of work. He put contractors who will never get paid. Just took the money right out of their pocket. He doesn't give a fuck. His ego and his malignant narcissism is the only thing that are the only two things that motivate him. He doesn't care about people. Fuck people. They just get in the way, right? Trump. There were other points, Aaron Blake points out in the news conference, where Trump made clear his view of the border is skewed. He repeatedly disagreed with data, even the data produced by his own administration about what's happening at the border. There are all kinds of numbers that show 20-year low in the people trying to cross the border illegally, 20-year low. No violence at the border. No huge mobs coming from Central America. It's all bullshit. He called reports showing the vast majority of drugs come through ports of entry where a wall wouldn't matter. He says that's a lie, even though the facts come from the DEA. Trump says it's a lie. Of data that show undocumented immigrants commit less crime as a percentage of their population than native-born Americans, Trump told the reporters, you don't really believe that stat, do you? Of data showing the number of drug deaths in the United States, Trump read it and said the number was ridiculously low. This is Trump's MO. He exaggerates or misstates every fucking thing, anything that he can say to protect his ego, stroke his narcissistic attitude, and lie to the public. Anything he can say, he will. And nobody confronts him on it because when they do, he doesn't answer. Where did you get your numbers? He moves on. And on Friday, he made clear, today he made clear he simply doesn't believe any of the official results that come from agencies within his own government. He doesn't believe it. He says that his own view of what's happening on the border is the only thing that matters. And when the fuck does he go to the border? Like when he was in El Paso the other night and stood there after being told by the mayor, Republican mayor of El Paso, of being shown FBI statistics, of everything. The son of a bitch still went down there and tells the brain-dead, red-headed fucks who are down there with their little red hats. He lies to them and they eat it up. He lies to them about the city he's in, El Paso. And these red-hatted motherfuckers just applaud and jump up and down and attack BBC cameramen and screech and howl and yell, you ignorant sons of bitches. Ah. And Aaron Blake points this out. None of this might ultimately matter in the legal fight to come. Presidents have certain authorities in the courts, potentially the Supreme Court in this case, as Trump was squeaking about this morning. The courts seem more likely to deal with the law and facts on the ground rather than Trump's comments about all of it. So we'll see if Trump's expressed motivations have any bearing. They may not. The fact that he admitted it was an emergency, the court may ignore that and focus instead on the right of the president to do anything he wants to using emergency powers. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.